Breaking news today, a young man was involved in a serious boating accident on Lake
So they finally get me to the emergency room, and I died. They resuscitated me, got me in the operating room, and I died again. So I died twice that day.
The world has its share of incredible mountain ranges, each with its share of high-profile peaks. Many people dream of reaching such elevations, but only few are bold enough to do so. This is a story of one man who broke world records. A man who set a world record by climbing to the highest elevations in every American state in a little less than 67 days. This world record holder has been featured in thousands of publications and televised programs across the world, achieving various global recognition as well as being awarded with several distinguished honors. Regarded as an inspirational speaker, his journey reflects both strength and ambition. However, it isn't only his achievements that have become the main source of motivation. It is more about how he managed to overcome the obstacles that stood in his way.
You saw that I am a mountain climber, yes? And what was different about my mountain climbing? I have one leg. Okay. And which leg is it? Right. Guys, we only have two choices here. What are we going with? All right, it is the right leg. So let me show it to you so you know I'm not making this story up. And here is my leg. And I know what you're probably thinking. That poor guy, he only has one leg. That's not true. I got about 6 or 7 of these in my closet at home. So we got plenty of legs, depending on what I want to do. Now let's talk about how this happened. Now you saw that I was injured by a boat that came and backed over me. And I see this huge propeller that's just spinning right underneath the water. And I'm thinking, I've got to move. And I took one last effort. I got tangled up in the ski ropes, and the next thing I knew, wham, I was hit. And both of my legs were sucked into the propellers. So they put me on the operating room table, and I was wide awake. I did not even have an aspirin in me. All they did was numb me below the waist. They fired up the saw, and while I was talking to the doctor, they cut my right leg off below the knee. And that was when I realized that no matter how difficult things may seem out here, no matter how scary they may seem out here, that chaos and craziness has no power compared to the power that you have within you. There is greatness within each and every one of you. And it's not a matter of going out and getting it. It's a matter of bringing it out from within you, because that is where it is. You will never find it anywhere else, because greatness is not just within one of us, it's within every one of us. And together, we can make this world great. Thank you. I went through a tragedy. Some of you sitting in this room today, you have gone through a tragedy yourself. So I was having to go in and out of surgeries practically every other day. And while I was in there, I kept asking this one question that I was screaming when they put me into the boat, and that was, why? Why? You know, sometimes we get that answer right away. And I can't tell you what your why is in any situation that you might go through, but I can tell you when you will recognize it. It is when it not only blesses you, but it also blesses others. Sometimes it takes weeks, months, years. And in my case, it was going to take almost 20 years before I would know what the answer to that question was. Every single one of you has something to offer to every single person alive. There is no one that you don't have something that you can't give to. There is no such thing as fear. Fear does not exist. And let me give you an example. When I'm standing on the edge of a cliff and I got thousands of feet below me, I'm thinking, wow, this is amazing. And the person standing right next to me, they're literally peeing in their pants. I had this lady that was kind of my mentor. And she was only about yay tall and lived out in the desert, and called her Yoda. She looked like Yoda, Star Wars. I really took what this woman had to say to heart, because like she would get letters, just to give you an idea how respected she was. She would get letters from the White House. Then there was this other guy that came to her, and he said, I don't know what to do. Somebody's taken one of my characters and I only have a duck and a mouse, and I don't know which one to make the main character. And she said, well, the mouse, of course. And of course, the guy is Walt Disney. But one of the things that she used to say to me was, Todd, when you go through really difficult times in your life, somebody does something or you get hurt, you can get mad about it, scream, kick, whatever it is you want to do. That's okay. But you only get to do it for 60 seconds. Because after that, you got to get on with your life. And you just got to let it go. Look at this climbing axe. Does it look like I ever fell? Yes. I have fallen many, many times. But the mark of a true winner is not about falling. And you are going to fall. You are going to make mistakes. But what's important is not whether or not you fall or not. Whether you fall 1 time, 3 times, or 297 times. What's important is that you get back up. And that you get back up every single time. Because the one time that you decide not to get back up, that's the one time that you're going to hold yourself back from being able to get to that greatness and that power and that place that you want to be in your life. The world record was 101 days. So I had to go to the highest point of Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma. We could only fly to 2 states. One was Alaska and the other one was Hawaii. That's right. Here's the highest point of Delaware. It's actually in the middle of a street. Okay, some of you laugh, but this was a very busy street, okay? So I come up to Oklahoma, which is Black Mesa, and I'm up on top. You have to hike a couple of miles in, and I'm thinking to myself, after all this climbing, Todd, you are a mountain climbing stud. That's just all there is to it. And once I got to the top, there were a group of 3rd and 4th graders waiting for me. And here I am, about 20,000 feet toward the top of Mount McKinley. You can see the 3 climbers here. At that point, I was already pretty scared. I already had 2 body bags drug in front of me. One was a frozen climber. They found him hanging upside down on his rope. The other one, they found him sitting on a rock with the radio next to his head like he was talking into it, frozen to death. And he was hired by the Park Service to teach safe climbing techniques. The idea behind the climb was to climb to the highest elevation of all 50 states. This is something that 32 people in the world had done. I did become the first leg amputee to climb to the highest elevations of all 50 states. Also, the world record was 101 days, set by Adrian Crane, the British mountain climber. Instead of doing it in 101 days, which was the 2-legged world record, I did it in 66 days, 22 hours, and 47 minutes, thereby shattering the 2-legged record by over 35 days and becoming the first and only disabled person. Thank you.